Not every secret is buried in the past. Some hide in plain sight, waiting for just the right moment to emerge. In this shocking true crime case, a seemingly ordinary relationship takes a sinister turn when one woman stumbles upon a secret so disturbing that it redefines everything she thought she knew about the man she loved. What she uncovered by accident was not just a lie, but a horrifying web of deceit that would change her life forever. This is the story of how one innocent mistake led to the discovery of a dark truth no one could have imagined. Jessica and Alex's relationship didn't begin with sparks. It was a gradual sense of tranquility that grew with time. They met at a casual get-together. Alex caught Jessica's attention not for being the center of attention, but for his calm confidence. He wasn't the kind of person who would charm someone instantly, but there was a quality about him that captivated Jessica. While he was caring and considerate in his own manner, he was also reserved. At first, Jessica found his reserved nature appealing, a refreshing contrast to the emotional intensity she had dealt with in past relationships. Alex's reassuring, easygoing demeanor convinced Jessica that he might be different. Their connection quickly established a familiar pattern, enjoying Friday night dinners at the sushi restaurant they love, spending Saturdays relaxing and watching movies, and occasionally meeting friends for brunch. It was pleasant, not overwhelming, but effective. However, there were times when Jessica couldn't rid herself of the sense that she didn't truly understand Alex. He tended to dodge questions about his job, brushing off details as boring work stuff, and he hardly mentioned his family. Whenever they spent time together, it was always at her place. He never invited her over to his. Initially, she attributed it to his preference for privacy and enjoyment of personal space. However, as time passed, small details started to build up. At times, he would vanish for hours without explanation, citing unexpected work calls. He never talked about coworkers or included her in office events. Jessica questioned if she was simply paranoid, yet she couldn't shake off the sense that something was off. Yet, for now, she pushed those thoughts aside, convincing herself that every relationship had its quirks. It was an ordinary day when Jessica's entire world changed. Alex had left his phone behind while running errands, something he never did. Jessica wasn't usually one to snoop, but a strange notification popped up on the screen that caught her eye. The message, sent from an unfamiliar app, simply read, "We need to talk. Urgent." Curiosity got the best of her, and she opened the app. What she found wasn't just alarming, it was terrifying. Conversations between Alex and an unknown contact revealed plans, but not just any plans. These were blueprints, detailed diagrams for what seemed to be some sort of covert operation. At first, Jessica thought it might be work-related, something innocent she didn't understand. But the deeper she scrolled, the more she saw references to dates and times, to meetings that aligned with the days Alex claimed he was working late. Jessica's stomach turned as the realization hit her. The man she was uncovering was not the man she loved. After discovering the strange messages on Alex's phone, Jessica's world began to unravel. She couldn't shake the gnawing feeling that this was only the beginning. As she replayed their past interactions, what once seemed like harmless quirks now felt like glaring red flags. His frequent late nights, last-minute cancellations, and the guarded way he spoke about his work. The unease pushed her to take a step she never thought she would. One night, after Alex had fallen asleep with his laptop open, Jessica decided to investigate. What she found inside confirmed her worst fears. Hidden within a folder disguised as work files were dozens of encrypted messages, unsettling photos, and documents linked to names and faces she didn't recognize. With each new piece of evidence she came across, her heart raced faster, as each one was more unsettling than the one before. These were not simply chance interactions. They were connected to a human trafficking scheme. Jessica discovered documentation of transactions, trades involving names and locations, all linked to a network exploiting at-risk individuals. The pictures she saw depicted people being used and traded like goods. Alex was not only leading a double life, he was a crucial member in a terrifying criminal organization. The man she believed she knew was actually living a falsehood, and now she was facing the deepest layer of his deceit. Jessica felt her hands shaking, fully aware that she couldn't change course. She had uncovered too much, and the risk of his connection to this illegal trade was much more serious than she had expected. In the days that came after she made the discovery, Jessica felt constantly tense. Each time Alex looked at her or engaged in a casual chat, it felt as though she was being challenged to maintain her composure. She couldn't bring herself to maintain their usual eye contact, aware of the secret he kept hidden, but also afraid of alerting him too early. The burden of the secret loomed heavily over her, yet she understood the necessity of making cautious decisions as Alex posed a threat, and any misstep could jeopardize her safety. Jessica considered confiding in a close friend, but the risk seemed too large. What if Alex found out before she was ready to act? She spent sleepless nights formulating a plan, pretending everything was normal during the day while quietly gathering evidence. The moment of decision came one evening when Alex casually mentioned a business trip that Jessica now understood was code for something dark. She couldn't stay silent any longer. With Alex out of the apartment, she seized the moment, dialing the emergency number and providing authorities with everything she had uncovered. Encrypted messages, disturbing photos, and records that tied him to a human trafficking ring. Within hours, law enforcement had a plan in place. Jessica felt a surge of anxiety mixed with relief as she realized things were now out of her hands. That evening, Alex was taken by surprise when police officers raided his apartment upon his return. From afar, Jessica observed nervously as they handcuffed him. Alex's demeanor stayed eerily composed, his lack of emotion unsettling as if he was still in control. However, Jessica was aware the truth had been revealed. The sting was successful, and Alex's secret life was at last revealed. The focus of the trial was not only on Alex. It soon became evident that his arrest had exposed a broader network of criminal activity. As the probe progressed, additional important individuals involved in the human trafficking operation were recognized and taken into custody. These people, who had been working in the shadows for years, were in charge of coordinating the trafficking and abuse of at-risk individuals across state lines. With Alex now in custody, the whole network started to fall apart. One by one, these members were brought to justice. Some had operated under the disguise of legitimate businesses, while others were deeply embedded in underground criminal circles. Their roles varied, ranging from recruiting victims to facilitating their movement across borders, but each of them faced charges of conspiracy, trafficking, and exploitation. The evidence gathered from Alex's case proved instrumental in bringing them down, as his communications and financial dealings exposed how far-reaching the operation truly was. In court, prosecutors exposed the full scope of the ring's criminal activities. Survivors testified, recounting their terrifying experiences of abuse, manipulation, and captivity. The courtroom was filled with tears and tension as these courageous individuals shared their stories, revealing the horror of what had been going on in secret. By the end, Alex was sentenced to life in prison, and several other high-ranking members of the trafficking ring received equally severe punishments. With many of the main players imprisoned, the ring was dismantled, offering a sense of justice to the victims. For law enforcement, it was a significant victory, one that highlighted the importance of Jessica's brave decision to come forward and expose Alex's hidden life. For Jessica, the end of the trial marked the beginning of a long journey toward healing. Though justice had been served, the emotional scars of her discovery would linger. She had once imagined a future with Alex, but that image was shattered the moment she uncovered the truth. The betrayal ran deeper than just their relationship. It had shaken her ability to trust, to feel safe in her own world. Yet while the pain of betrayal would always be a part of her story, Jessica's ability to confront the truth and stand up against evil became her lasting legacy.